ladies and gentlemen. Morning. Oh man, end of the week. It wasn't that bad of a week. Nothing too traumatic for me personally. Today, I want to talk about how this country is evil. This country is evil. And so many Americans say the country has failed us. The country has it's become corrupted. We're living in a third world country, and it's like, dude, if you do some history or study some history about this country, you realize that this has always been the country since the beginning, since the British came here, since the secret societies came here in the 1700s. It has always been evil. We don't have to understand the intentions. We don't have to understand the strategies. We don't understand the benefits that those elites that run this world wanted at the time. We don't have to understand it. We just have to understand one thing, is that it doesn't matter what they want. What they're doing is evil. We don't have to go through a whole study about this and break it down. The basic information out there is good enough to inform you of what country you're really living in. And you're living in a white supremacist, cannibalistic, misogynistic, cruel, sadistic country. And this system has been spreading around the world for centuries. Maddie Poor, hi, hello, good morning. The system has been spreading like an octopus for centuries. And a lot of people just don't understand that you are feeling the way you do. You're feeling trauma, you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling loneliness, depression, is because something deep inside of you knows what you're living in is wrong. They tell you, oh, it's because there's not enough jobs. Oh, it's because the economy's bad. Oh, it's because the woke media. Oh, it's because such and such and such. No, it's simple. It's that you live in a society that's ran by psychopaths. You feel it. You feel it in your bones. When we don't give credit to our men and women who fight for this country, our hero firefighters that went in and tried to rescue people during 9/11, we don't we don't give them credit. We don't talk about them every day on the news or on social media. But we'll talk about Timothy Chalamet or Kim Kardashian or Diddy. All these people who are mediocre, uninteresting, narcissists, psychopaths. But we feed them so much attention. And we don't even pay attention to our families, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers, our grandmothers. How many of us haven't even talked to our grandmothers in a while? And I'm not perfect. I could spend more time with my grandmother. But it's just, there's so many things distracting us from things that really matter to us individually. Drifter Jamal, hi. Hello, good morning. We don't cherish the people who really matter. But it's not our fault. We've been programmed to be like this. That's why they call it, public programming. TV is public programming. You know, they put it in your face so that you can't sit back and say, you didn't tell me that this was going on. You didn't inform me. Because then they could say, yes, we did. We did. We literally told you what's going on. You know, we put it in history books that this country is founded off of slavery. Why are you acting like you're shocked that Epstein's doing all this? This country's founded off of slavery, dude. You know, and it's like, you know, Americans are like a battered housewife, like battered housewives, literally. We keep making excuses for pure evil because we like the conveniences. We like the, you know, being in a quote unquote, you know, first, you know, world country. You know, we like having the status of being the most dominant country on earth. But all that thing, yeah, most popular or most wealthy country or most dominant, yeah, but that doesn't mean you are. That doesn't mean you're dominant. That doesn't mean you're the most wealthiest in the world because you live in America. That's the thing I think we get so delusional about, is that because we call ourselves Americans, we think we're like entitled to all this luxury that America has developed. Dude, the elites are America. We're just workers. We're employees of America. We're not Americans. We're employees of America. Though, you know, the Epstein class call themselves Americans. You know, because they run the show. They don't, you know, they control the you know, the politicians. They control the media. They control the religions. They control your, you know, they're putting shows like Euphoria out there, normalizing, you know, child sexualization, you know, just this debauchery. You know, and the society's so asleep that we're just too busy to pay attention. We're just too busy with all the distractions to pay attention. And on top of distractions, we're being fed poison. You know, our air is toxic. You know, our water's toxic. You know, you think the elites have bad water? You think the elites are breathing toxic air? No, they're on the islands with blue water, fresh air, while they're assaulting children. It's disgusting, man. It's really disgusting that we live in such an evil society. You know, but it doesn't mean that we're evil. And that's why I'm trying to tell you all that, you know, you're not part of this world, and that's something you should cherish. You should be happy that you're going through the struggles. You should be happy that you're going through trials and tribulations. You should be happy that you're seeing these horrible things and it's affecting you, because that's a sign that you're good. That's signs that you have a soul, that you see the truth, that this is wrong, you know. And instead of getting so bent out of shape that nothing is happening immediately to those who are perpetrating this violence, you should be praying to God and blessing God and thanking God for blessing you with the vision to see the truth. You are, if you do nothing to change it. Yes, I do agree. You know, and you know, everybody goes through stages in their life where they're, you know, go through the valleys and stuff, where they're down and out, and where they lose their way, you know. And I don't believe in condemning anyone, you know, but this is bigger than individuals now. You know, this Moloch worship, this, you know, the Satanism worship, this is bigger than individuals. This is bigger than a secret society. This is a industrialized cabal of evil. This is industrial evil. This is the galactic empire kind of evil, dude. And it's not just started recently. You know, it's been around for centuries. You know, they perfected it. And that's the thing. A lot of people say America's falling. American empire's falling. No, it's not. You guys, and even the people say the Roman Empire fell. No, it didn't. The citizens of Rome fell. The citizens of America will fall, but the rich will always be okay. So that's what I'm always hearing is the empires fall. The citizens don't control empires. Citizens don't dictate empires. It's the few that control the empire. And the few will leave once they feel like, okay, the chips are down. We're not benefiting that much from this. We got to get out of here. We'll go to some other place and set up shop. That's what they do. And they've been doing it for centuries, you know? And it will take all of us to overcome. Suppressed action will do nothing. Yes, I agree. You know, I think that now I'm starting to sense in the air that a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are starting to wake up. You remember that movie, Star Wars Force Awakens? And in the beginning of the trailer, it's like, there's been an awakening. Have you felt it? That's literally how I feel right now. Like, there's a disturbance in the force, and I feel like everybody's starting to like snap out of it. Like, wait a minute. Even people who were never political, they're starting to wake up to it, because it's like, it's just so much, and you have to realize that there's so many people who never watched scary movies before that are looking at these events happening in the world that are just completely getting like overwhelmed, because they were never prepared to face this kind of evil. And that's showing you how much they care about us. They're not even considerate. Like, like even the files are released showing victims' faces, putting them on, on high alert for any retribution by these assaulters, So they're showing you the world that they don't care, And I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm happy, actually. I'm glad that the devil is finally showing his face. I'm so glad, actually. See, that's the thing about the devil, is that the devil is so egotistical and prideful, and the devil can't do anything without being recognized and validated, So that's why eventually it gets to a point where it can't be swept under the rug. It can't be ignored or hidden anymore. So then the devil just basically says, fuck it, here, I'm right here. What you all gonna do about it? And I think we're really at that stage right now where the devil and good people around the world are now face to face. And we're just kind of like on this this Western, Mexican standoff situation where we're just kind of like, it's the good people versus the devil. And we're just kind of standing there like, who's going to shoot first? And everybody's just kind of like, and I'm telling you, the devil will shoot first. So that's why we got to kind of like what's your name? Colbin 2550. And it will take all of us to overcome. Suppressed action will do nothing. Yes, I like what you said there, because we're gonna have to get out of our comfort zone and fight. We're gonna have to get out of our comfort zone and let go of this matrix. We're gonna have to accept what happens, and fight. I just have a feeling that we're reaching a point where we can't ignore what's going on anymore. And if we do, it's really telling a lot about ourselves and our cowardness and our weakness. That we'd rather live in a world that's disgusting and cruel and harms children, and just so that we could so that we could have conveniences. I'm sorry, I can't live like that, man. I can't go to bed comfortably at night watching Friends and knowing that children are being thrown into a fucking oven somewhere or getting tortured. I'm sorry, I'm just not that kind of person. I'm just not that kind of person. Hold on real quick. My best advice would be protect yourself and your family and neighbors. Prepare for the worst possible situation. Don't let it overwhelm your sense of purpose. Yes, I totally agree with that. Where's that little... Oh, there was looked like a beaver that was swimming. I'm gonna leave that beaver alone. Just probably doesn't want to be filmed. But it's like Americans really are like a battered housewife. I see so many people talking like they're shocked, like the America has failed us, like it's over. It's like, dude, the system is working. I don't think you understand. The people who built this country, this is what it's meant to do. This is how it's supposed to go down. This is what they wanted. They wanted this world like this. And you have to realize that you're not part of their agenda. You are an employee. And we got to stop calling ourselves Americans and all these like titles. We're human beings. You could, in my opinion, a man and a woman could go anywhere on this planet I don't believe in immigration and signing papers and documents. Like, who are you to decide where I get to go? I was born on this planet. I want to go over there. I don't have to explain myself to you. And all these people, oh, the country is all these illegals coming here and it's taking, dude, those illegals are not doing as much damage as the people on the 1% that's, jerry rigging our economy, stealing our resources, poisoning our natural resources, and then running off scot-free without any accountability. But you have a lot of Americans sitting here talking about legal immigrants because it's easier to do what you're told rather than figure it out on your own. And a lot of people they'll do the most cruel things. Like I see so many innocent people. No, I wouldn't call them innocent. Nice people. I've seen so many nice people, and they will literally be like, yeah, I take care of my garden. I love my puppies. Oh, I have a little cat, but these illegal immigrants, we got to get them out of the country. And it's like, where is this energy coming from? Why do you have so much resentment for people? Because they're not supposed to be here. Who are you to decide that, though? There's plenty of resources on this planet to make everybody live comfortably. You're getting mad at the people who are the most vulnerable, poor people, because you've been told by rich people to scapegoat them for all of our problems. When the people who are really doing the damage to your country and to your way of life are the 1%. Yes, girl from space. Thank you. I totally agree. It's not the legal immigrants, LGBT, black, Mexican. It's rich people. Yes. It is like, who is this? Brainless Boston Bugsy. You're brainless. Let me get you out of here real quick, cutie pie. So anyway, I like when people call me brainless. Like, you just jumped into the chat and you call him some brainless. He might be a white supremacist that thinks that black people are just black guy. I gotta insult him. It's like, okay. And I don't have hatred of people. Like, I feel really sorry because life is so much to do. There's so much beauty in this world, and you're just wasting your time fighting your fellow neighbors. That's literally the Antichrist energy. It's in the 10 Commandments that you're supposed to honor thy neighbor and and not kill. It's like, and these people are just they literally go the opposite direction and lean into it. And it's just like, and I think that's good. I like that. It's good. This is good. Be evil so we all know who you are. Because in these end times, I want to know all the evil people. I want you to show your face. Keep acting a fool, because I'm gonna remove myself from you, and I'm gonna remove you from me. That's it's easy as that. There's no need to get bent out of shape anymore. It's too much going on in the world to fight these low frequency demonic people. They have lost. They have no control of their bodies, their minds. They probably have worms in their intestines, control them psychologically and shit. So, a lot of these people eat raw flesh and stuff, and like they love bloody meat and all that stuff. Like, they can't help it. We've fallen into a fake reality of life. I'd recommend spending some time in nature. Get back to reality. Colbinnet 2550. Yeah, I agree. Look where I am right now. I'm just looking out into the water. I always do this every day I get off work, just to, recalibrate my mind. Nature will bring you back. Yes, I totally believe that. Nature, every time I'm out in nature alone, I just feel like I'm actually becoming myself again. I feel happier, I feel at peace, and honestly, right now, if I had passed away right now, just sitting here looking at the river or at the lake, I'll be happy, because this is all that matters to me. This is peace. This is all I really want. I don't want $1 million. I don't want all the bad chicks, I don't want to be the most popular guy. I don't want to be the top G. It's like, no, I want to be Joshua Solomon, enjoying his time on earth, sitting in front of the lake, enjoying the beautiful water and seeing the beautiful birds and animals and enjoying this gorgeous existence that God gave me. The definition of nature is everything that exists. No. Cause no one. I mean, yeah. I guess you could use a dictionary terminology for that, but I believe nature is what God actually creates and is part of God's order. Like a cell phone is not natural. But people could say, well, those elements are put together. Yeah, but those elements are put together unnaturally. God doesn't make cell phones. God doesn't make cars. God doesn't make airplanes. God doesn't make guns. These are things that man has created. God doesn't make arrows and spears. These are things man has created. And I think that you'll find more peace in this life once you let go of all those unnecessary things. You know, and you have to realize that tomorrow is not promised to you. So that's why I hear all these people saying, stock up on this, stock up on that, stock up, because you're living in the fear and you're living in this entitled theory that you're going to live forever. God can't speak a phone into existence. Yeah, I agree. God can't speak a phone into existence. Yeah. These things are not, these man-made devices are not God's creations. These are things to make it more convenient. We created these things to make God's world more convenient for us. So that we don't have to go through the inconvenience of, oh, well, I can't talk to you right now. It sucks that I have to go a couple miles to see you just to tell you something real quick. So I'm going to create a device where I could speak to you in a matter of seconds. And it's like, yeah, that's great. And I admire the human creativity to do things like that, and the ingenuity to do things like that. But once we start getting so high and mighty about ourselves and start looking at ourselves like gods, like the Egyptians started doing, like Pharaoh started doing in Egypt, like, I am a god. I am a deity. It's like, okay, now we're starting to lose the plot here. Like, all right, guys, like, we're creative, but chill. you have to humble yourself and realize that you're not going to live forever, and that you're not invincible, that you're not a god. And the thing is, you will find more peace once you actually accept that. That's why so many people that have dissociation disorder, or a dissociation disorder, are insecure people, and it's usually a self hating mentality that makes people go out and want to conquer things and be the center of attention because they feel like they're not in control of their own lives. But that's the thing, is that you're not meant to be in control. You're supposed to be playing a role. That's why they say a real leader is called to be a leader. It's not a guy that's like, I want to be number one, I want to be the center of attention. It's like, no, a leader is called to it. It's someone who's like, oh, I there's a fire. It's something telling me I feel it in my heart that I have to help everybody here and go and tell everybody there's a fire. We gotta get out of here. It's not someone sitting there waiting for any reason to be loud and say, hey, everybody, do what I tell you to do. It's like, no. God wouldn't punish people in such a way that a man would for greed. Yes. See, that's the thing. God would never, and God is very merciful. God doesn't have resentment. God doesn't have ego. God gives you chances. It's like stumbling. It's like a child stumbling. It's like you stumble, you're not gonna be just put down on the ground and you're never gonna get back up again. It's like you fell. You should have kept walking. You stumbled once. That's it. God is just like a child learning how to walk, showing you. It's like God gives you a chance to keep going but the thing is, you have to adapt. You have to grow. Some people feel like they don't have to adapt. They almost, oh, I stumbled. Okay, now I need to get robotic legs. I don't want to do this. I stumbled once. This is too hard. Instead of experiencing life and evolving and growing, it's like, nah, that's too much work. I just rather find a convenient method to get to the finish line right away. And it's just, I don't know. I just know that I'm trying to figure out on my own right now. I'm trying to You know, I'm trying to navigate this life as best as I can, you know, and it just some days it feels like the walls are closing in, you know. I call them sheep, maybe wrong. I call them sheep, maybe wrong, but they are easily manipulated into a path of selfishness. No, I feel the same way. You know, I feel the same way. You know that calling them sheep or calling people they're like kind of like just subservient and just going on to get along sheep. Sometimes I feel like I'm being harsh, but really it's the best way to call it. It's nothing really like extremely disrespectful. It's really just the truth. They're acting like sheep. They're being shepherded by the devil. See, the devil is just their shepherd, and it's like, you know people just want to be safe. People just want that sense of safety, and I'm telling you that you're not promised safety. You're only as safe as you allow yourself to be. And that means you have to engage this life. You know you have to be present. you know you're not you aren't alone. God bless you. I really appreciate that. you know I don't feel like I'm alone. I feel like a lot of us are starting to wake up now, and I really hope to God that we have better days, because I would love to see the world happy, like all of us work together. I really would love to see that, man. you know but I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna say a prayer real quick, if you all would like to join me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the glory and power forever. Please put a wedge of protection around me, my loved ones, my family, my friends, the people watching me on the chat right now. Thank you for all the blessings you've given me. Thank you for the second chance of this life. Um, I'm always in servitude to you, Lord. Thank you for all the blessings you've given me. Amen. Thank you guys for joining me today. Mary Ellen Rudis, 9870. Hi. I'll see you in glory, brother. Amen. Hopefully I see you there too, my friend. God bless you. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and pray, keep your faith, watch over your friends and family, your neighbors, and don't let the devil steal your joy in these days. I love you all. God bless you. Until next time.